Welcome to another episode of Kookievision. In this video, I'm going to be making a Batman emblem. And I am a huge Batman fan, so this is definitely a cookie that's close to my heart. I'm starting out with a number 2 tip with a piping consistency yellow royal icing. This is a nice bright lemon yellow. And I'm just basically outlining the outside and then outlining the bat. Now I did have a special cookie cutter for this that had the imprint of the bat already embedded into it when you pressed the cookie into the dough, but you can also use a template that you make out of make yourself out of paper, or you could use a projector as well. And I've just basically outlined it all, and I'm going to fill in this area around the bat with a flooding consistency of the same color that I have here in a squeeze bottle. And you want to make sure that your squeeze bottle has a nice small opening for this, just to kind of get into those little tight spots. Any tight spot that you can't really get into, you can just use your scribe tool to kind of coax it into the areas that you need to get into. And for tight spots like this, I like to use a flooding consistency that is definitely on the thicker side as opposed to the thinner side of consistency. Otherwise, you may have problems, especially getting so close to the edge that you could see on the sides of the wings and stuff like that, that it might spill over the edge on you, so before you get to it with the scribe tool. So yeah, you definitely want to use a flooding consistency that isn't too much on the thin side, otherwise you might have issues. And I'm just using the scribe tool to even everything out. So I've let this crust over for, actually this time I let it crust over for a few hours. If you do have problems with color bleeding, especially if you live in a humid area or a warm area, you can always let it dry just a little bit longer, especially in front of a fan. And I've got this nice charcoal gray here in a squeeze bottle. I'm just filling in the bat, and I just roughly filled it in because I can just use my scribe tool to push it all towards the edges and get into the small tight spots like the ears and at the bottom there where the tail, I guess, would be, and the tips of the wings. And you want to basically you're using your scribe tool to push the icing where you want it to go, and you can kind of put it over top of some of the yellow just to get some nice precise points. There is a lot of like points and angles and stuff on the bat, so you just use your scribe tool to get the icing where you want it to go. And you can see that's what I'm doing with the scribe tool, is I'm basically dragging the black into the yellow to create more angular points, as opposed to just like this very blobby like shape. You know, you want to make sure it's nice and sharp and precise so that it actually looks like the Batman logo. And doing this will also save you a step in the future. Instead of having to re-outline the bat when this is dry, you can skip that step altogether. Now I'm going to let this dry overnight just because I have a lot of cookies to do. It's a lot to do in one day, so I do my backgrounds one day and my details the next. But you can just let it dry as long as you need it to avoid color bleeding. And I've just re-outlined the outside with the same black color that I used in the bat, except a piping consistency. That was a number 1 tip. And if you feel like your bat is kind of lacking, you can always outline the bat as well. And as a bonus photo, here is a photo of some bat signals and robins that I did. 2 completely unrelated orders, but I had to take a picture of them. It was 2 orders I got in the same week, completely unrelated, but it was pretty hilarious that it was Batman and Robin. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like me on Facebook and on Instagram. Bye!